Hi, I'm David Sidwell and I'm the director of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. What excited me about putting on this show? Initially, I wasn't excited at all. And that's for the reason when I first read the script, actually I read an overview, a synopsis of the new musical, as opposed to the animated Disney movie, which I sort of remember when my kids were growing up. I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, it's sort of not a patch on Aladdin or the other animated movies. And anyway, I read the synopsis and I thought, oh, this is all a bit bleak. You know, everybody dies. It's really like a Wagnerian opera. But anyway, Hamilton Operatic hadn't done a musical since Chicago and we had to do something. And so I got the script and I read it and I sort of quickly fell in love with it. It's got the music and more from the animated movie. It picks up a lot of the Latin underscoring from the animated movie and builds on that, which I was excited about. And I was also excited from the fact that it is true to the Victor Hugo novel as opposed to being like the animated movie, and the story in the movie is altered. Yeah, the more I read the script, the more I thought, yes, I do want to do this. I think a challenge for me, but an enjoyable challenge, is the minimal staging in terms of set, but that challenge is answered by the incredible John Harding and his vision. I mean, I have an overall vision that I sort of draw roughly on a napkin. Then I go and meet with John and he takes my napkin drawing and, in this case, pulls it right back to a more, I think he's used the KISS principle and, you know, keep it simple, stupid. And so, you know, we have bells, we have a bell tower, we have lovely Gothic staircases and Gothic balustrades, and really that's all we need. So that was one challenge, but that was quickly surmounted through John's vision. And then the initial challenge, of course, the roles are very specific and require strong vocalists because it's pretty much all through sung. There's a little bit of dialogue, but it really is a through sung piece. And so getting vocalists to sing the principal roles and then the supporting ensemble roles, and then the quality of singers that we needed also for the choir. So that was a challenge, but again, that was a challenge that was answered by the caliber of auditionees that we got. So I think we've done well. I mean, there's never enough money, but I think from all the creatives, they come together and acknowledge that, and in true New Zealand fashion, we want to meet that challenge and, you know, strive for 150% in terms of creativity and present an artistic work, a theatrical work that is very, very high in terms of production values. Another thing that drew me into the script was the way the book, developing it from the Hugo novel to the book that is the script and score references, is the less than traditional theatrical, presentational, dramatic style. And it probably that goes back to where the novel historically is based in 1482, that sort of 15th century theatre style of the troubadours or travelling minstrels, and in this case Catholic troubadours, storytellers moving from village to village throughout France, and within this troupe of performers they all play various roles and not a large ensemble, and they tell the story in a presentational way where they break that traditional theatre fourth wall, speak to the audience. Characters or individual storytellers play various individual characters, and really the only characters that sort of remain consistent throughout the production are those as we see as Quasimodo, Phoebus, Frollo, Esmeralda. So those principal characters, they do present themselves initially within the ensemble, within the storytelling ensemble, but then they retain those roles, whereas the rest of the storytellers, the rest of the ensemble, take on many roles where they might be villagers who are fishmongers or butchers or bakers or gypsies. So they take on all those roles and they remain ever the storytellers. So that for me has been exciting, because that means that this bunch of storytellers, the ensemble, are there from the start and they really never leave the stage. And so we have to really take the audience on a journey where we invite them in, and within the story we ask them to sort of suspend reality. And 1 minute I might be a gypsy, but then I might be a soldier, but just by changing a hat. So I think that's exciting, and it's exciting for me to work with, but it's also exciting for the actors within the ensemble to work with. For me, I think the audience are going to experience the beautiful, lush score that they don't really experience in the animated movie. So I mean, it's a story, because it's closer to the original Hugo novel. It's sort of more along the lines of his Les Miserables, where you get this momentous, huge, wonderful story that's supported by the beautiful music, the songs that from the Disney animated movie, but they are embedded within this beautiful Latin vocals, the bigger lush score that supports it in a more musical theatre style, which I think the audience will become more involved with. And it's a slightly darker story than that of the animated movie, and I think we connect with that. I think we make those connections. You know, it's not a love triangle, it's a quadrangle, I suppose. That's, you know, there's Phoebus, Esmeralda, Frollo and Quasimodo, so 4, and these 3 men who are in love with this mesmerizing, beautiful Esmeralda, and how they become entangled. And I think that's extra special, and I don't want to give away the actual ending, but it's not as we see the ending in the animated movie. So there's sort of those dark edges. And then I think just, even if you sat back and shut your eyes, you would experience as the audience, just the beautiful vocal qualities of all the performers as a whole, as an ensemble and a choir blended, is really quite magnificent. And even, you know, after only 3 weeks rehearsal, it's pretty spine tingling. There's a word I always use when I talk to the cast, which is a German word attributed to Richard Wagner, the romantic German composer of opera, which is Gesamtkunstwerk, which means total art form. And I think within this production, I mean, we get it all with it in all productions, I hope to achieve this sort of total artwork, this bringing together of all the art disciplines within musical theatre, you know, like the lighting, the choreography, the staging, the costumes, the sound. But I think this one in particular, because of the simplistic presentational style, then we rely on those other elements to give us that Gesamtkunstwerk, you know, the lovely lighting, the beautiful singing, the simple but dramatic staging, that all require the support of a superior sound quality. So I think for this, that's another experience that enhances the overall production values and will bring that, you know, overall audience experience. and I think that everybody should leave on a high and love what they've just experienced. The experience that the audience are going to be part of, I think it's slightly immersive as well because of that luxurious score. I think that it's that immersive experience and an emotional journey that the audience are going to go on that really you don't want to miss. So get in there, book your tickets and come and experience the Hunchback of Notre Dame along with the rest of the audience and the cast, the orchestra and the creative team.